Okay, so should be live there now. Yeah, I'd say I probably am. I'd say I probably am. Uh, so I'm to quadruple check. Yeah, okay. So, what's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Decided to report back for a video. As you can tell by the title, this one is going to be a little bit more of a fun one because, well, conservatives kind of lost their minds recently. I mean, I know it's getting a little bit difficult to try and pick those few things apart, and try and pinpoint down exactly which one I'm talking about. But yeah, no, Harry Styles, former lead singer of One Direction, um, he wore he wore a dress on the cover of Vogue, and conservatives kind of lost their minds about it. They really, they didn't react very well to that particular piece of information. Um, so just in case anybody has forgotten exactly what that's what it looks like. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I don't really know what else to kind of say. Like it's a nice photo. I don't know what to kind of say about it. It's just one of those like really, really, really weird. Yeah, those like really I don't know what it is, man. It's just a very odd sort of a reaction to it, just to this kind of news as a whole. Um there's a kind of like a better image of like the full dress that he was wearing. Now, look, right? I don't if it was me, right? Would I have the confidence to wear a dress in, an extraordinarily public scene such as this one, on the cover of Vogue, it's going to be seen worldwide. No. And so for that, I kind of have to, give him his props. Um, Harry Styles is not look at like so far as we know anyway, Harry Styles is not trans. He's not, he is a cis man. He's just very there could be an argument to be made that that like possibly he is metrosexual, which is what I am. So what that basically is that I like women and their hair care products. That's kind of essentially what that means. Um, there may be kind of like overlapping or like differences and stuff like that, but that's essentially what it is. Um, so yeah, so like it's just like, oh god, okay. Um, Yeah, look, I just don't get what the whole kind of, big issue and big kind of big complaint and big whatever because I mean like look at like this is not new. That's the other thing. This is not new. Um Prince unbelievably okay, that's a very small photo. That's a very small photo. Is that showing up that small in the thing? Okay, that's terribly small. Let me see if I can there we go. Yeah, so like Prince also did this. Like he also was in a dress, and I'm pretty sure that's on the front cover of a mag, or maybe it's not the front cover, but it's in a magazine somewhere. The point is like this. I don't know if I would call it a trend just as of yet, but I mean like this idea that this is happening. This is not new. This didn't start with Harry Styles, so it's just I don't know. It's just incredibly odd. Um, David Bowie, same thing. The most like hard to pinpoint sexuality wise celeb arguably ever. And he was like, look, this whole idea that people can get like so like this and that the other thing over a man in a dress is just I don't know, man, it's just silly to me. I just don't get it. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. um So yeah, I don't look. I don't know. I don't know. It's just very odd, you know. So, oh god, it's just very confusing. I just don't get it. I don't get what the whole kind of, you know, oh, confusion or you know, outrage is. I don't get what. Oh god, I don't get, you know, what that is or where it's even really coming from. Like, I really don't get it. I'm not just saying. Like, I genuinely don't understand where that's coming from. Um, you know, it just doesn't. It literally it just doesn't make it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, really, 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 it doesn't. Um, so yeah, no, you know, I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. Um, it's just one of those things, you know. Sorry, I had tabs open because I have very little RAM on my laptop and they just open. Sorry, it's a whole thing. Um, the point is, this idea, right, that sex and gender have become overlapping, right, and that they are interlocked. It's this thing that, despite how many times this is explained to conservative leaning people, right, they never really seem to grasp. Now, the last time that I talked about the sex and gender distinction, it was during a Ben Shapiro video. Now, I only managed 6 minutes of that 9-minute video, so I'm not going to do that to myself again. However, I'm not exactly treating myself too much better, because the video that I am going to be responding to today is from none other than Candace Owens, who is a complete and utter grifter, and I don't really even really know why anybody takes her seriously, and why not everybody sees her for what exactly she is doing, which is being a grifter. Um, but you know, anyway, look, you know, benefit of the doubt, this and that, the other thing, all of those other things. Just before we go into this, though, because I know that this is going to be kind of said, right? I know that this is going to be said, and I haven't watched this, by the way. I've seen like maybe like some lines out of it. Like, I know that Harry Styles kind of clapped back at her on, I think it was his Instagram, where he like put like the tagline of like "Bring back manly men," and that started from this video. That's the only thing that I've kind of seen. But you know, we talked a little bit about manly men yesterday, and how, you know, like toxic masculinity can kind of, you know, can be a serious, serious problem. So mentioned that yesterday, won't go over it too much today. But I did say in the video that I did about Elliot Page that yeah, I know. I'm uh if I share this, is this just gonna go into here? Okay. Yeah, so we are gonna be reactive. I know, I know, I know, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um but yeah, look, it's, what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. The whole Elliot Page thing, and yeah. So, and I had said that I was going to be doing this video, and that I would kind of explain a little bit more about the sex and gender distinction. So sex is the bit that's in between your legs, right? That is your sex. That's your sex organs. That's what identifies your sex when you are born, right? You know, in case there was like a massive cock up on the ultrasound, or before you know, before they were a thing. That's how you decided if, like, what sex the child is. Now, gender is completely different. Gender is how you express yourself. Gender is what you feel inside. Gender is, um, you know, what things you are comfortable doing versus not comfortable doing. You know, what ways you are expressing yourself, what ways you are comfortable expressing yourselves versus what ways you are uncomfortable. You know, just to kind of fill in values for those, right? So, you know, I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, right? And it's, it's got this like little kind of, like artsy kind of thing on it, right? And like I'm pretty sure it's a guitar that he has. Yeah, it's a guitar. Typically, typically, that would be seen as more masculine, right? Typically. And it would be seen as somebody who is comfortable wearing a t-shirt like this, right? Or in the colors that it is, that would typically be more seen as identifying one way or the other with gender. But more obviously than that, and this is something that I touched on as well. If you've ever been to a wedding, right? And I don't care, by the way, like what your gender is, because this works either way. If you've ever been to a wedding, okay, what was every cis man wearing? Suit, right? Or a tux. Typically. Now ask yourself the question, what was every cis woman wearing? It was a dress of some description, right? Dress of some description. Or, sometimes now it's kind of, the like suit pants and like a top of some description, right? Typically. But where this analogy is best used is in the bride and the groom, right? So if it's at a heterosexual wedding, okay, and bride and groom getting married, what did the groom wear? He wore tux. What did the bride wear? A dress, right? That is gender. That is gender. Now, there's nothing baked into our DNA. There is nothing written in stone. There is nothing, about us and just about us that says that men have to wear suits and that women have to wear dresses. There's absolutely nothing written in stone. Nothing in our DNA. That's not hard lined into us. So it could have been something completely different. It could have been something completely different. It could have been the opposite. If 600-700 years ago it was kind of bet into people that men wore dresses and that women wore suits, right? And nothing else about the passage of time or the anything else changed, and that we were brought right back up to this moment, it would be considered perfectly normal, and it would be considered, breaking a norm if a man was to wear a suit and a woman was to wear a dress, if this was the norm that was then carried forward. But the point is that this is just a norm that has been carried forward. There's nothing in us that says that this has to be the way that it is. There's nothing in us that says that that men have to wear suits and women have to wear dresses. There's absolutely nothing. That's not baked into any part of anyone's DNA. No part of it. It's just tradition that has been passed down like for several generations, for hundreds of years. It's the only reasons why. But these were not always the case. These were not always the case. Go into the Vikings, right? Just picture a male Viking right now in your head. Before I say anything, before I say a thing, picture a male Viking in your head. He has long hair, doesn't he? Long hair and a big old beard. Typically, right? It's what most people will kind of associate when they picture a male Viking. Okay. Now, a beard, that's okay. And you can, put that to the side just for the moment, right? It has been said for a number of years, right? And again, just passed on just because people said so, and just because this was baked into tradition and for no other reason. That's true. That's very, very true. Very, very true. Um, Typically, again, just because it's been passed down, men typically have short hair, right? It's a character trait. Character trait. Now there's some deviations and there's some, there's some exceptions. But typically speaking, the rule is that men have short hair and that women have long hair, right? Again, some exceptions, but the rule is typically that that's the way like that it is. But Vikings, I don't know. You want to talk about bringing back manly men? Now, look, not perfect, not people that anybody should be kind of modeling themselves after, in their behaviors and in what they did and stuff like that. But the point is that Vikings being like the epitome and the biggest example of what a manly man is, had long hair. The Romans, they wore togas. Now you can call them whatever the hell they want. That's a fucking dress. I don't care what you call it. I don't care if you say, oh, well, there was slight styling differences in between the male togas and the female dresses. It's a fucking dress, okay? It's a fucking dress. You talk about what's still happening now? What's still happening today? The Scots, and they wear kilts. Is that not just a long skirt? The point is, these aspects of sex and gender are completely separate. They have nothing to do with each other. Your sex is what you are born with, and your gender is who you are born as. And it's time to stop this nonsense now. And it's time to stop this behavior where we are conflating and when we are overlapping and when we are using the two terms interchangeably, because they mean very, very, very different things. And look, I didn't come up with this. I didn't think this up. This is all based on psychology and sociology and, the the various fields of study that have gone into this, and the various academics and the various educated people who have gone into studying these things, who know exactly what is going on and who know exactly what this is and why this is happening. Take it up with them, because that's where I'm getting it from. If I want my car to run well, then I visit somebody who then I go to a garage and see a mechanic. If I want a car to run well, if I'm sick and I want to get better, I go to a doctor. If I want to know about how and why people act within society, how and why being very important language, then I see a psychologist or a sociologist or a behavioral therapist or a behavioral expert or any of these people. You go to the relevant people because that is what they are specializing in. I wouldn't go to somebody who installs kitchen equipment for a living with help on my tax returns. I'm using that as a relevant example because here in Ireland, we don't have we don't file our taxes separately. It's all paid. It's much better system. You should probably think about implementing it. The point is that you go to who is the expert and you toss aside who is not an expert, who is speaking about this just off of hand. Now, would that normally implement me? Yes, but as I said, I'm just parroting what they are saying. And I'm giving my kind of understanding and my 2 cents on the matter. That's all I'm doing. So, with all of that said, and with all of the kind of positive stuff out of the way, I thought we should probably torture ourselves now with Candace Owens speaking about something that she knows absolutely nothing about. Right, let's go.
All right, guys. Bring back manly men. Who would have thought that that would have caused an absolute firestorm? Something as basic as saying that men are good for our society causes a firestorm.
Who is saying that men are not good for their society? And by the way, she's responding specifically to Harry Styles in a dress. How is Harry Styles in a dress saying that men are not useful or not good for society? The amount of like reach and stretching that you have to do to get to that conclusion from one guy, and not even the first in our modern history of wearing a dress, is anyway.
Of course, on the left, because the left hates anything normal. Basically, if there is anything that looks remotely normal, the left sees it. And
well, yeah, normal, of course, in this case, because Candace Owens is whatever the people paying her is on that day. So she's representing conservatives right now. And okay, so like what normal is to that is, a gated community, white picket fence, and 2.4 kids. Um, very sexless, very loveless marriage. And probably 2 kids, one of which who's going to grow up to be a mass murderer. Probably. That's her normal. There is no such fucking thing as normal, because my normal is very different to Candace's normal. Very different. So, by definition, you cannot have something that is normal be in conflict of definition. Like, something that is normal is like across the board okay with everybody, regardless of gender, of sexual identity, of socioeconomic background, of anything, of class, of everything, like irrespective of everything. Everybody agrees on this one thing. That would be that would be an example of what something that would be normal is. However, that's just not a thing. And if you think it is, you're lying to yourself. People think different things depending on who they are and where they're from. So my definition of normal and Candace's definition of normal is very different. Therefore, normal being used as a word is just silly because it doesn't have any set meaning.
And they want to tear it down. They just cannot stand the idea that things are functioning and things are working and things are normal. Case in point.
Things are functioning and things are working. She said this 7 months into a global pandemic where 250,000 Americans have died. Things are not functioning and things are not normal. How she could have said that. And I cannot believe that I am about to say this because I'm about to give constructive criticism to Candace Owens. What she could have said is everything is fucked up, and as if it wasn't bad enough, now this. That's what she could have said and been fucking consistent. But she's not only wrong here, she's also stupid. So, but then again, it's Candace Owens. Are we really expecting much better?
A man wearing a dress. Now, first off, let me just clarify something. When I originally tweeted about this was not an attack on Harry Styles. He happened to be the man in the dress, but really it was more of an attack on Vogue and the culture in general that is trying to shove this down our throats, right?
How are they shoving it down your throats? How? Is Vogue giving out a free copy of its magazine to every single household in the United States? Are they getting like millions of people to go out in like vans or in their own personal cars with like boxes stocked full of Vogue magazine, and they're putting a copy of it in through every single letterbox or every single mailbox in the United States? Because that would be how they would be shoving it down their throat. But I don't think okay, I know that on the channel I'm not the marketing expert, but I think that if Kevin was here, he would agree with me. That's not a very good, business strategy in terms of like making money. So that's not shoving it down their throat. By the way, the most ironic thing about this entire about that entire statement is she's shoving it down our throats because she's making it be such a big fucking thing, and she's responding to it, and she's putting it out there, and she's saying like, this is terrible, this is a really, really bad thing, this is something that we can't allow, and she's shoving it down people's throats. She's shoving that idea down people's throats. So the very fact that she is unaware of the stunning irony of her statement is it's just funny to me, to be frank.
Turning women into men and turning men into women has been the move on the left as of late, right?
That's not what we're no. If the left as an extremely broad category was able to turn women into men, I'm pretty sure we'd be going for the oh, what the fuck is it? He was a magician guy, and he had up $1 million prize for anybody who could demonstrate like actual magic. James Randi Foundation or something on those lines. I feel like I'm in the ballpark, but I still could be wrong because I have my doubts. But the point is, if we could actually turn women into men, that's what we would be doing. Like, if we could go like abracadabra and click our fingers and suddenly my tummy banana becomes an innie, that would be fucking magic. But that's not what's happening. This is years of intense psychotherapy, of intense, like, unbelievably strenuous therapy. And this is coming from an outsider. I haven't been through this. This isn't just very good plastic surgery, because if it was, I'd be taking my fucking money back. But the point is that, like, this is years of therapy. This is years of hormones. This is years of saving and of going about, seeking out doctors, seeking out surgeons, getting the operations in order to fully transition. Like, that's what that is. Like, that's what that is. So by the way, when she's going after a straight cisgender male who is wearing a dress on the cover of a magazine, that to her, because she's so fucking ignorant about these topics, that to her means trans, or in that general area, in that ballpark, and so she's going to take a cheap shot anyway.
Right? Women should want to go to work. You don't need a man. Shave your head, dye it pink, make yourself ugly, right? Because that's feminism and that's power.
Who the fuck who the fuck cares? If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to like do to make yourself feel more comfortable about yourself, to make yourself feel a little bit happier about yourself, then who the fuck cares? I know that she doesn't like it, and maybe I don't find it personally to be, like, overly attractive or anything else, but I'm sure that somebody does. But the point is that, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, even if I think that that's the sexiest thing in the world, or whether it's like when you poke a fucking snail in the like eye when it like shrivels back up inside of its fucking shell, if that's what happens to me, to my penis, when I see somebody like that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if that's what they want to do, if that's how they're comfortable, if that's how they want to express themselves, then go for it. Who the fuck am I to try and turn around and say, well, like, no, you can't do that, or like, no, you have to be more, you have to do this, you have to what the fuck is that? This video is just short of 9 minutes long, very much like the Ben Shapipi video. I am less than a minute in and I'm already losing the will to live. This is not okay.
And that sticks it to the patriarchy. Men put on a ball gown, right, and strut on Vogue, because somehow that shows that you're not normal, and that's really empowering and forward. And quite frankly, I do not find men in dresses to be attractive. Women do not find men in dresses to be attractive.
She cannot make that statement. That's just first off. Okay, so what I was going to say there, I think that what was going to be pretty obvious, was that I was going to say that it does not, like, any man who was comfortable wearing a dress and wearing a dress in public, and about like doing that, and about doing all of those types of things, they are not the ones that are going to be like pining for Candace Owens' attention and for pining her, you know, to be in a relationship. By the way, she's now engaged, so who the fuck cares? So nobody should care about who Candace Owens does and doesn't find attractive because, like, she's engaged. But I mean, like, aside from anything else, like, what difference does it make? Like, Harry Styles doesn't actually care about whether Candace Owens finds him attractive or not. That's ridiculous.
Do not believe women that are sitting here telling you, oh, I would love for my man to wear a gown on our wedding day. It's just not true. That's just woke leftist feminists and typically people that follow Hollywood trends. Question I want to ask you guys about Hollywood, because this was almost the biggest issue that I was hitting at. When's the last time they've ever promoted anything good or anything functional? Just think about it.
I want to just go back there a few seconds because I was fixing something there on my end. I just want to repeat that.
Leftist feminists and typically people that follow Hollywood trends. Question I want to ask you guys about Hollywood, because this was almost the biggest issue that I was hitting at. When's the last time they've ever promoted anything good or anything functional?
When is the last time that Hollywood has ever promoted something good or something functional? Well, although it turned out to be deeply flawed, especially coming up to the 2020 election and with Joe Biden and everything, I think that the Me Too movement has done some generally good things in their time, and has done some generally very productive and very positive things. I think that Miley Cyrus's Happy Hippie Foundation has done some incredible work with homeless people, with people who are part of the LGBTQIA, who have found themselves homeless because of rejection, or have, you know, found themselves in like legal battles because of you know, workplace things. They've done incredible work with that. That was something good, and that is something productive. But I don't like, something tells me, and again, I could be wrong, but something tells me that it was more of a rhetorical thing, and that she doesn't actually care about anything that's been brought up. But just in case there are any people who genuinely thinks that Hollywood hasn't done anything good or productive in the last couple of those are just some examples. Sorry, now that was anticlimactic.
Just think about it. You can write it right now. When is the last time Hollywood has ever promoted anything good or anything functional?
Just done
right?
it.
Hollywood is the conduit to all bad ideas. Anything that they are glorifying in Hollywood, you can guarantee you is going to ruin your life, right? So they want.
Well, I mean, it's not going to ruin my life because I know that I've never raped anybody and that I never would, because, you know, I have fucking morals, even though I am a godless heathen. But I don't know. The whole point, look. I don't even have to say anything else. I genuinely don't even have to say anything else. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Look, yeah.
I want you to think that they're these little demigods. So suddenly Harry Styles puts on a dress and that's just what everybody should be doing, right? Or, oh, this is.
No, it's, oh my God. Oh, no, she's not doing that angle. No, fuck off. No, please. Please do not tell me that she's doing that. No, I don't think I can take it. I don't think I can take it. I don't think I can fucking take it. The angle that she's doing is that she's trying to say that because Harry Styles did this, that this is the new normal and that this is what everybody should be doing, and that I should be doing this video in a dress right now. That's the angle that she... No. That's how Harry Styles is very, very comfortable being on on a magazine cover in. That's how he is comfortable dressing. Nobody is saying that this is the new normal and that this is what you have to do now. This is what we are saying is that Harry Styles is comfortable doing this along with people in the past. And if anybody else is more comfortable in a dress, then they should be able to wear a dress. And Harry Styles is just a conduit of that. That's what it's saying. Not that this is the new normal.
Powerful. Quite frankly, from people who don't play the Hollywood game and live in the hills, if I see a man in a dress, I think he's a crackhead. Period. Right? If you see that stuff, if you live in
what fucking correlation?
the projects, if you live on the streets and you see somebody wearing a dress, you assume that they have mental issues. And
no, I mean, maybe she does, and maybe every fucking git who agrees with her does, but I don't know.
I want to be very clear. This is my opinion. I would never allow my kids near a man that's wearing a dress. That's my personal opinion. You can call that however.
I mean, I don't. Now. Some men who are wearing dresses, i.e., Catholic priests, I would never let my children around because their chances of being sexually assaulted go up through the roof as soon as they are in close enough proximity in a room alone with a Catholic priest. But that's just, that's based on other things. That's not because it's a man and who is in a dress. But I digress.
Whatever you want to call that. I don't need to be woke to pretend that this sort of stuff is normal. It's not normal. It's completely not normal.
Again, normal. I don't need to go over it again, but it's not normal for her, but that doesn't mean that it's not normal for somebody else. It might not. Look, and by definition, because I'm not wearing a dress doing this video right now, it's not normal to me either. But I'm not saying that it's like a net negative on society and that if we allow this and if we normalize this, it's going to be the downfall of modern society and all this sort of thing, and everybody who can get on the fucking nightly news and clutch their pearls and do the yes voice, they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's not that. It might not be normal to them. It might not be normal to Candace Owens. It's not normal to me, but that does not mean that I am saying that we shouldn't do it or that we shouldn't normalize it if that is what people are more comfortable doing. I am for the most amount of normalization of what makes people comfortable and what allows people to more comfortably and to more productively express themselves. I am not for suppressing anybody's expression, and neither should anybody else. You might not get it. You might not agree with it. You might not understand it. In perfect truth, I don't understand how, I can't visualize myself being more comfortable wearing a dress than in wearing more typically male clothes. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to get out on my platform or on my anything else and say that men shouldn't be wearing this because I don't get it, because it's not normal to me. That's the point.
To feminize men and to keep pretending that this is progressive. It's not progressive. I said what I meant. There is no society that can survive without strong men. People are sitting here critiquing that.
Okay. I have two lanes, right? I'm standing at a crossroads, ladies and gentlemen. And I have two lanes to go down. And I'm genuinely confused because I could go down the lane of saying that technically speaking, even weaker, less physically strong men can still have children. Or I can kind of go after this notion of, well, strong in what way? Strong as in physical strength? Strong as in somebody who has biceps the size of my face? Or strong mentally? Or strong in their character? Or strong in their drive forward and in what they know what they're wanting to do? There's all different types of strength. Now, if I was to take a guess, it would be the first one. It would be she is saying that it's physical strength. It's big physical strength, like this old manly men thing. Which even if that is, it doesn't exactly matter. It doesn't make it any better because weaker men can still have children. They can still produce offspring. So either way, once again, she's not just wrong, but she's also stupid.
Statement, show me the society that survived without strong men. You have a whole lot of human history for you to look at, right? Men, the role of men is to defend, it's the role to protect. So all of you men who are saying,
no, it's not. No, it's not. The role of man is to do whatever the couple decide in the relationship. I've been in several relationships where I have different roles in that relationship. I've been in a relationship where my role is to kind of be the more where I was working and where she wasn't. And so, if it was kind of coming up towards like, date night or any of those types of things, that I would pay, although I probably would do that anyway because I was in a certain way, with certain aspects of me. My granddad is the person who kind of instilled all of his knowledge about women and about, like what you do on dates and stuff like that, and like old school gentleman stuff. So I would probably pay anyway. But the point is that I'm totally comfortable for a woman to pay, and that has also been the role that I've been in. I've been in between jobs when I've been seeing somebody, and so they have paid. And so my role depends on every relationship that I'm in. It ebbs and flows, and it depends on the situation that you're in. There's no one set fixed role that a man has in a relationship. That's just weird.
sending pictures of you in a dress and saying, I'm still a man or I'm still a manly man. I am not calling on you when there's a world war. I am not calling on you when I'm in an emergency, okay?
You're clearly not calling any other fucking Republicans either, because I mean, Daddy Trump and those bone spurs, eh? I mean, you're clearly not fucking calling on him either. I mean, if it was in a different time, I don't know. Fuck it. I wouldn't be calling. Okay. Are there some conservatives that I would never fucking call on to be in a war? Yeah. But I mean, like, what difference is that? And like, this is just average conservatives, by the way. This is not like anybody famous or anybody of any sort of notoriety. This is just like your average conservative. Like, are there some conservatives I would never call? Yeah, but I don't see what the point is. I don't get why that matters. Why you think you're making a point?
You can wear your dresses. Nobody has sat here and said, if you're a man in a dress, something bad should happen to you. I don't believe that. I believe people should live and do as they want. But I think it is wrong.
Now, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm open to being corrected, right? Because maybe it's just maybe I'm just saying maybe this is just me being cynical, right? The older like that I get, it's just me just being more and more cynical. I personally think, right, this is what I think, that she's saying that A, because she has a large following and this is a public video. B, because her donors would be pissed off at her if any sort of negative repercussions happened out of it. But but C, that's third finger, so that means C. Feel the brain cells leaving my head the longer that I watch this. There's your evidence right there. But C, I think that I'm probably most importantly, I don't think that Candace Owens would be too upset if a trans person, I know that it's not the same thing, but it's in the roughly the same ballpark, and she has brought them up. I know that it's not the same thing. But that trans people and that men who are more comfortable wearing dresses, I'm not saying that she wishes harm upon them. I'm just saying that I'm not entirely convinced that she would be too upset to find out that something did happen to them. That's all. No. Look, I could be totally wrong. It could just be me just being cynical, just because I'm forcing myself to watch an 8-minute video by this fucking grifter git. But, you know, that's just what I think.
Wrong for our society to keep perverting things, to keep putting in the forefront.
What are we perverting? What, like, I feel like this video is going to be like 7 hours long if I don't stop stopping and starting. So I'm going to try, but it's proving very difficult.
Forms of perversion. Okay, let me give you a couple of forms of perversion that people in Hollywood like to promote, aside from men wearing dresses, which I believe to be a perversion. It is perverted to me. I do not like seeing it.
Nobody cares what she thinks. No, nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares. Because I would, again, I feel like I'm saying this phrase a lot. I am not a betting man, yet I am willing to bet my house that she would protect or stand up for or be on defense for the Catholic Church as a whole. That includes the priests who are raping little boys and little girls, and then who are being passed from church to church because they don't want to have any sort of repercussions for them. I am willing to bet my house that she would defend them, and yet we're perverting stuff by simply saying, as somebody pointed out in the live chat earlier, although I'm on a different tab, so I can't highlight it, or I can, but it'll have to go back and forth. Anyway, the point is, I am saying that all genders are equal, or at least that they should be equal, or that you should be allowed to freely express amongst gender and across gender lines. Simply because I'm saying that it should be normalized that if you feel more comfortable as a man in a dress, that you should be allowed to be a man in a dress. That's perverted, but priests who are raping little boys and little girls. Look, I could be wrong. Maybe she would say that that's perverted as well, and maybe she would say that that's wrong. But I'm willing to bet my house that she would defend the Catholic Church. So her defense would be shot, or would be, like a corner would be gone, or something. I'm losing my mind. I'm so sorry.
I am never going to promote it, and I'm not going to shove about that. A perversion is that Hollywood people, Hollywood elitists, also a bunch of women telling, oh, abortion's the best thing ever. Oh, I loved my abortion, Jamila Jahil, Miley Cyrus, abortion, right? That's her thing, abortion cake. That is a perversion.
I wouldn't call it a perversion. She's just, wait, hang on.
Perversion.
Yeah, so she's just about to call it. I don't think that it's a perversion. I don't think that's a perversion. Look, the first part, because she didn't actually like give a name, or if she did, I highly guarantee you that it's fucking either quote mined, or that it's just completely taken out of context. Nobody in their right fucking mind says that they loves their abortion. Like, every woman who is having an abortion knows what that is, and knows what that process is, and knows that when you go in and when you take that pill, or when you take that, that it's going to cause you to miscarry, depending on how further along, and depending on how far along you are, it can just range from a very heavy period to quite an uncomfortable situation. Nobody is saying that they love that. And either way, a heavy period is, again, I don't know, I can only imagine, not very fucking, regular periods, and again, this is based on some of the women that I've been out with, are not exactly pleasant experiences to start off with. Experiences to start off with, but a heavy one is probably a lot worse. So either way, it's not going to be very fucking comfortable for them. So why is she saying that people are going out there and promoting this, and is saying, oh no, I loved it. It was fantastic. It was amazing. I went out for Chinese afterwards. Okay, she was probably a little bit sad later today, so that's actually possibly accurate. The over point is, nobody is celebrating this as a fantastic thing. And the whole Miley Cyrus thing, look, I don't give a fuck if she does the whole, like, fucking sticks her tongue. She doesn't do that anymore, by the way. That was the whole kind of phase that she did, like 4, 5 maybe even 6 years ago now. The whole twerking at the VMAs with Robin Thicke. I mean, like, Robin Thicke hasn't been a thing for like 4 years, so it was definitely before that. So yeah, it's probably 6. The point is, who the fuck cares if they're going out and because what their angle in it would be is to kind of say, like, not even to normalize it, but to kind of say that, like, it's okay to talk about this. It's okay to not feel shunned. It's okay to not feel embarrassed. It's okay to not feel ridiculed or put down or any of these things. If you were going for an abortion, there's lots of different reasons why a woman will end a pregnancy. There's lots of different reasons, and it's her reasons and her reasons alone. It doesn't matter what, like, who the fuck is gonna who's going to be in a situation where they're thinking, they're considering of having an abortion, but yet their one thought in their back of their mind is, you know what, I better ask Candace Owens what she thinks about this, because I just can't. Nobody cares what Candace Owens thinks. She has her opinion, and that's fine. That's it. That's all it counts for. Nothing else. Like, just nothing else.
Right? Women should be doing the exact opposite of that. Women should be nurturing. That is women should think about, how do we protect our children? How do we raise children? Not how do we rip them out of our bodies and glorify that. They glorify killing babies.
It's not glorifying it. It's just, okay, if talking about your past experiences is glorifying something, then you literally can't do anything. Because if you were to say that your past experiences, okay, if talking about your past experiences is equal to glorifying it, right? If that's the metric that we're working with, okay? If that's what we're doing, is talking about your experiences of when you were raped glorifying rape? Is talking about your past experiences of when you were mugged, is that glorifying mugging? Is talking about your past experiences of, sexual harassment in a pub, club, or workplace, is that glorifying it? If I go out on stream and I tell a story about, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but if I ever get, assaulted, if I ever get beaten up, if I go out on stream and I talk about that experience, is that glorifying it? If I go out on stream and I talk about the fact that I've had depression since I was 11 years old, is that glorifying, going, like, I don't even know really what that would mean, but like getting depression or feeling depressed? I don't really think that that's the metric that you want to work with, girl.
They glorify men in dresses. They glorify WAP, WAP.
Okay, we're not glorifying men in dresses. We're just saying that if you want to do it, then feel free, because it doesn't fucking matter to me, you, or anybody else. If they're comfortable doing it, then they're comfortable doing it. That's the point. Now, the second point, WAP. Okay. Now, Candace's little online friend, Ben Shapipi, whose opinions are as dry as his bed sheets, want to go out online and talk about WAP as if it's this, like, this is was it Cardi B? Cardi B? I'm pretty sure it's Cardi B. Her song. Especially now, especially this time of year, right? As of the making of this video, if somebody is watching this like months in the future, this is Christmas. It's the what day is it? Just for like 100% actually, it's the 17th. The song is it "Baby It's Cold Outside"? That's like not being played on any news stations or any news radios or like anything else like that, right? It's just not being played because it's overly sexualized in a creepy way, and it's more than a little bit rapey, and it's like it was sung in a time where it was almost okay for that sort of thing to happen, or for women to be sexually harassed or sexually abused, like full on rape, maybe not, but that was kind of, it was kind of pushed to the sidelines. It was kind of like, you had a bad night, just kind of push to the side, leave it alone, it'll be fine. but it was written and it was sung in a time where men were kind of seen as being in control of women, or they had like this extra power over women. And when you like it on its own, as like, if you were to do it, it's like I don't know, like a test thing or something like that. Is it like, a nice, maybe kind of bordering on like okay. Is it an okay song? Perhaps, but the point is, it's look, it's more than a little bit rapey. I totally understand why people are very kind of, upset about it being a thing, why people don't want it to be broadcast, everything else like that. But, and this is the major difference, and this is why I've gone down this somewhat rabbit hole. The big difference is in Baby It's Cold Outside, it is a man singing that like in a controlling way towards a woman. And in Wet Ass Pussy, or WAP, it's a woman singing about her own wet ass pussy. So you could make the argument, I don't know how successfully, but you could make the argument that she's being objectified. And again, let's just entertain this just for a moment. If somebody was to make the argument that she's being objectified, yeah, but but she's the one doing it, and that's the difference. That's the difference. So you can go out and in a song or in a rap or in anything else, and you can say, that look, if you're saying it about yourself, there's nothing that you can't say, right? You can go out on a rap song and call yourself, a slut or a whore or any of these sorts of things, and say that you love sex, and say that, like, say all of those things, say whatever the fuck you want, say that you're, a piece of shit human being. You can do all of that, and you can say, somebody could make the argument, oh, that's a little bit insulting. Yeah, but they're insulting themselves. So if they're insulting themselves, then they have nobody to blame but themselves. But obviously they were okay with it going out, so they cleared it, so they're okay with the song. So why aren't you? The point is, if Cardi B thought that was going to objectify her, and thought that it was going to have this like overwhelming negative reaction, and that she was going to suffer financially or in her career as a result of it, then I'm sure she would have stopped it. But she either didn't think that was going to happen, or she didn't care. Either way, it was her decision, so she put that out. I don't understand the conservatives' reaction to WAP. It's one of the funny it's been one of the greatest meme generators, and one of the like biggest kind of moments in YouTube history of creating laughs. The fact that her buddy Ben Shapipi went out online a few years ago, and a few years ago, months ago, and said they publicly online on YouTube for the whole world to see that he's never gotten his wife wet in the 26 or something years that they've been married. Like, who's really getting more owned? Like, are they? Is Candace? Is Ben? Is anybody on the right really owning us more than we're owning them? We got a guy, a sniveling discount Kermit the Frog on speed level of just disgusting human being, offensive for no reason, and just a git out and out, to go on his show. He went on to his show, and he personally said himself that in the 26 years that he's been married, I remember reading that somewhere, it might be might be give or take a year, anyway, that he's never gotten his wife wet. Like, look, I'm going to take I'm going to take the L on some things if they do end up in the future, because by the way, if they are not owning us now, but in the future, if the Conservatives ever do kind of like own us again, you know what? I'm just going to take the L, because again, you know, it's sort of like the whole thing about Caitlin Bennett. You know, the perfect reaction is, yeah, well, you shit your pants. The perfect reaction to Ben is, yeah, well, like, you can't get your wife wet, so shut the fuck up. Like, nobody cares what he like. That's the only reaction that you're going to need now, and that's his fault. So, you know, again, who is actually winning?
Hitting the ground, 13-year-olds twerking and dancing, right? This is disgusting. This is everything the left and the Hollywood touches.
Oh shit, what happened? Ah, fuck. I thought I was just going to be able to put it back.
If you're a man, address something. Children, not how do we WAPs hitting the ground, 13-year-olds twerking and
because she said something there, and yeah, there we go. Look, that's what I was getting. That's what I was missing.
Men in dresses. They glorify WAP, WAPs hitting the ground, 13-year-olds twerking and dancing, right?
Who's the 13-year-old? Who? I mean, is she talking about in general? Because that's a parenting thing. I mean, if anything, but what? That's not like, that's not anybody's fault other than what? Oh, fuck it.
This is disgusting. This is everything the left and the Hollywood touches is a perversion.
Nobody on the left. If what she is saying, and I'm just going to presume this, if what she is saying is that the left is encouraging 13-year-old girls to post video or to like to twerk, she's fucking insane. Nobody on the left is encouraging that behavior. Nobody is saying that this is what she's. Oh God. Oh, is she talking about cuties? That's yeah. But I mean that. Well, okay. So, but I mean, like, that's like, I mean, like, there was I don't know how many. There was I don't know how many leftist YouTubers. I'm not even really leftist YouTubers, but just basically everybody in the right, basically everybody who is not a pedophile was outraged by that movie, by the poster for it. Anyway, I haven't seen the movie, but and I haven't actually seen that much about the movie since. And that could just be my own fault because I haven't been, like, kind of like checking up on it after that. But if she's talking about cuties, everybody in their right fucking mind was outraged by that poster and by that trailer and by that, like, everything to do with that Netflix movie. Everybody. So if that's what she's talking about, like, you're really, really, really grasping.
Version. You cannot tell me, when is the last time you've seen Hollywood be like, let me promote this guy who goes to church on Sunday? That's a masculine man, by the way. People sitting here talking about, oh, masculinity means you want men to beat you. Like, the dichotomy between wearing a dress.
There was so much stupid said in those last 10 seconds. The victimhood that you are displaying, that the left is not celebrating or is not holding up men who will go to church once a week, right? Or like any of that we're not promoting that. You're the biggest religion in the country. Depending on where you are in the state, depending on which state you're in or where you are in each state, you cannot walk down a single street without passing 2 churches. Every single president, perhaps maximum two, has been a Christian. You have, I think I read somewhere that it was 187 networks. Some of them, like privatized and paid for, some of them public, some of them kind of like independently made. The point is, you have 107 and 87 different possibilities of where you can go to get 24/7 Christian sermons, propaganda, like just all of those types of things on TV, on radio. They have adapted with the times now so that it's on your fucking laptop, your phone, your wherever. You are constantly bombarded by religion in the United States of America. And she's outraged that the left is not actively and making a point of especially promoting a single part of someone's life. By the way, Cardi B is a Christian. Cardi B believes in God. So, okay, we're saying WAP should be allowed out. Okay, but we're not promoting that. We're promoting the fact that she's a Christian and that she goes to church on Sundays. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yes. Like, if you don't wear a dress, that means that you beat women is completely crazy. It's completely crazy. Let men be masculine.
If you don't wear a dress, that means that you beat with, like, what am I doing with my life? How did I get here? How did I get here? What did I do? What did I do in a past life? I'm a good person. Co-founded a charity. I'm going to college so that I can do what did I do? What did I do? Only 4.5 minutes in. What did I do?
Masculine. I like men that protect women. Okay, does not mean you beat women. You're sitting here glorifying people like Cardi B who are telling you it's to put your vaginas on the floor, right? And talk.
Oh, I can't believe this needs to be said, but she never said that. She never said that. That never happened. It's literally just making shit up because she knows that people are not gonna fact check her, and that she knows that everybody or the vast majority of people who are looking at her content just eat it up like it's like they're, I don't know, like they've just gotten off of like the fucking, I can't even think of a metaphor. Fuck. This is what this video has done to me. I literally cannot even think. Like somebody who hasn't eaten in a week and it's a freshly home cooked meal. That's kind of what I was going at. But I was trying to think of something funny, but I can't because I'm fucking brain dead because I have Candace Owens' stupid fucking voice in my ears, and it's just, oh god. How do leftist YouTubers do this? Because I've seen other people responding to this video, and I've seen other people kind of do. Hey, Michael, you're in the audience. Sorry, man. I've seen other people reacting to these videos, and I've seen other people doing like these sorts of things, and it's just like, how do you do it? I'm literally losing the will to live. Like, how do you?
Talk about what you can do with men behind closed doors. And Hollywood says, yay, let's make that viral. Harry Styles, yay, in a dress, let's make that viral. Miley Cyrus ripping live human beings out of your vagina, yay, so powerful.
Wait, ripping live? Who's doing that? Who's ripping live human beings out of the vagina? And if they're a live human being, then surely you're like, I don't know, between 8 and 9 months. And I mean, okay, if you were to rip the umbilical cord, like, yeah, sure, that'll be a little bit uncomfortable and that'll be painful. But I mean, like, why would you be ripping it? I don't understand why you'd be ripped. But I mean, like, Who's ripping live people? It's like when conservatives say that that like leftists and BLM as like a broader kind of, topic or whatever have burned down cities. What cities were standing this time last year that because of BLM riots and protests are now not standing anymore? As in, like, the cities just don't exist. It's just a pile of ash and rubble. Name one city. They can't do it because nobody is burning down the fucking cities. It's not a thing that like, that's not a thing that happens. Nobody's burning down a fucking city. 1 or 2 buildings went on fire and you literally made a mountain out of a molehill.
Let's make it viral. You are all disgusting. I genuinely believe when I said Hollywood is satanic, I believe that from the bottom of my heart because I cannot think.
Based on what? Literally based on what? What about Hollywood makes it satanic? There's nothing about Hollywood that makes it satanic. You just don't agree with it. Okay, so if your own criteria, if your own, standard here is that we can call anything that we don't agree with satanic, okay, well then you and every other conservative in the country is also satanic. If that's your metric, if that's your standard, then I mean it's fair game, right?
Of something good that has come out of Hollywood. Tell me, what is it? Go. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is that you guys are glorifying.
Me Too movement, all some fucking around back doors when it came to Biden, but by and large, Me Too, Happy Hippie Foundation, among those are literally just off the top of my head. I'm sure if I actually went and Googled it, I could come up with a list as long as my fucking arm of things of good and productive things that Hollywood have done. But those are just 2.
All of you little kids who are too young to understand that they are putting you on a path that is going to ruin your life. Examine the lives of the people. You may think they have money. Examine their personal lives of those celebrities that you follow. Actually go examine their personal lives and tell me if that's a life that you think you aspire to. Ask yourself a question. Do you think that person is happy? For everyone who keeps throwing me all of these.
Simply because, okay, you could say this about like almost anybody, right? Whether they're right or left. You could say that's somebody simply because they are famous and because they are, like rich and they have all of these things. That literally does not mean that you're happy. So if you are rich, okay, if you have a lot of money and if you are famous, if most people know who you are, okay, if you're an A-list celebrity, if you want to now make a list of the people that you are guaranteeing is happy, you are excluding everybody. Every single celebrity, every single one of them. Money does not make you happy. Fame does not make you happy. They can contribute to it and they can make life a little bit easier. They can do these things that will aid you in your general life and that will, but they won't ever make you happy. Not on their own. Those coupled with other things might make you happy as well, but not this, not those two things, not independent of anything else. They won't make you happy.
Rockers who wore dresses. Okay, they were also all.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Lone Wanderer's Bunker. She worked for Vote. Wait, Candace Owens worked for Vote? What? Wait, really? She actually worked for Vogue? This is completely news to me. Yeah, every time that I kind of okay, maybe I should put in. She dropped out after her. I don't know if anybody can see. Yeah, no, nobody can see this. Okay, so I'm just reading off of her wiki. She dropped out after her junior year because of an issue with her student loan. Afterwards, she worked as an intern for Vogue magazine in New York in 2012. Owens took a job as an administrative assistant for a private equity firm in Manhattan after moving up to become its vice president of administration. Oh yeah, so she worked as an intern for Oak. All right, okay, yeah. Well, that probably explains then why she's a little bit pissed off because of a magazine that she worked for that is now is now doing this. Yeah. Anyway, that's just adding to the fucking comedy of it.
On drugs, right? Look at Kurt Cobain wearing this dress, Candace. Oh, he looked like a person that.
I'm sorry, Kurt Cobain. Uh, no, we never wore a dress. No, he didn't. He didn't. But wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Kurt Cobain wore a dress. That's maybe never something that I. Okay. That's something I. That's something I didn't expect that I would see. Um. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised.
Was very stable and mentally healthy. Let me go try to live my life like.
Nobody's saying that Kurt Cobain was very okay. So fame affected Kurt Cobain in the worst possible way, and I mean, like, yeah, so like he was struggling and stuff like that. But look, I'm not going to go into the whole thing about Kurt Cobain and who was his fucking partner at the time, and the whole kind of like rumors and stuff like that, and saying that like she killed him and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into that. Maybe we're doing the podcast on Sunday. Maybe if I kind of find a dull moment, I'll let Kevin talk about it because he's much more kind of into it than I am, and will know like an awful lot more. Won't have to go away and Google or anything. So the point is, it's not set in stone that he did take his own life, and I'm just for fairness, and I'm going to say, or that he was killed. The point is that's up in the air. That's not confirmed.
That. And again, this isn't an attack on Harry Styles. He just happened to be the man in the dress on the cover of Vogue. I like his music. Seems like a nice enough kid. I am talking about the fact that celebrities promote this stuff that in the end is toxic and harmful to establishments in this society, the biggest one being family.
Nobody fucking cares if something is going to deviate from the establishment. Nobody cares. If we're talking about families, unless it is out of okay, unless she can demonstrate to every to every single standard and beyond all doubts, she has so far provided nothing that would suggest that Harry Styles wearing a dress is going to affect the family anywhere, not just in the US, but anywhere. There is no correlation. There is like this isn't just a mismatch of the correlation causation. There is just no correlation there. If something negative happens with the average family in the US, we'll say next year, give it time for this to set in. There's nothing to say that it was because Harry Styles wore a dress on the cover of Vogue. There's nothing to say that.
everything the left does and touches, everything that these Holly weirdos promote, is about destroying basic values that work. A nuclear family, a yin and a yang.
Okay, so what she means by a nuclear family is kind of what I said earlier: mom, dad, and 2.4 kids, white picket fence, gated, neighborhood, all that sort of stuff. That's what she means by that. I could not give a fuck less about the nuclear family. Could not give a fuck less about it. And B, families are so unbelievably complicated. And are faced with tremendous hardships and difficulties, and go through struggles that are sometimes unique to them, sometimes not. The point is, if you are advocating for the foundation of the nuclear family remaining, either that has to come with several bullet points and asterisks underneath, and several warnings, and in case of emergency labels, and then an arrow and a, unless that is the thing that is happening, because okay, if you have in a nuclear family, if you have the mother or the father in that situation who is being abusive towards, who is being physically abusive towards their spouse or the kids, now maybe that's an unfair example, because I think that a lot of people are going to say, well, no, okay, in that situation, okay, the breakdown of the nuclear family is justified because that's a horrendous situation to be brought up in. That's a horrendous situation just to be in, just point blank. So maybe not. But I can't grant that universally. I can't say that every single person who believes in the nuclear family is on board with that and accepts that and would be okay with the nuclear family breaking down if that, if that contingency was to be made. I can't guarantee it. I'd like to, but I can't. The point is, and I could go over any amount of examples. The point is, families are difficult. They are tricky. They are complicated. And they are almost never straightforward and easy. Almost never. There is complications after complications after complications. There are issues. There are health. There are health, risks, health emergencies. Untold number of things that could possibly go wrong in a family. Candace sees the world one way, which is that she would like that to either stay the way that it was, or to, as quickly as possible, get back into a nuclear family situation. Whereas I personally would say, and this is not just because I use the example of a domestic abuse environment. This is the case just anyway. If you don't love the person that you're with, go out and find a new one. there are 7.8 billion people on this planet. And the worst thing that you can possibly do with your life is spend it with the wrong human being. So, and sometimes that takes a little. Look, I mean, like sometimes that could literally just be the reason. That could be the reason why the nuclear family falls apart, because they realized over time that they are currently spending their lives with the wrong human being. So, and if you ever wake up in that situation, this is my whole kind of this is just my little tidbit of advice. If you ever wake up in that situation where you feel as though you are spending your life with the wrong, okay, you have a very important question to ask yourself. A, do you admit the last X amount of years of your life have like been a waste? Or B, do you waste the rest of your life? And for me personally, the second option is not an option at all. Walking away, it's like time does not equal success in a relationship. You can spend 5 or more years with someone. You can spend 10, 15 years with someone and only then realize that they are just not the right person for you. And if you ever do wake up in that situation, and if you ever do kind of realize that you're in that position, as difficult and as tough and as arduous and as temperamental and as complicated as it might be, walk the fuck away. There is no point in you wasting your life with the wrong human being. This is an unbelievably massive and complicated issue that she is trying to dumb down into the simplest and most 5 IQ point level of conversation that she's trying to do here. And quite honestly, it's just fucking insulting. That's just being quite honest. I really hope that this doesn't... Okay. Has it fucked it up? No, it hasn't. Wonderful.
Yang in the household, having a feminine and a masculine figure who raise solid kids with good values, kids that don't believe in twerking when they're 13 years old on the internet, kids that believe in that there is something bigger than themselves. The strand of narcissism that we see going through Hollywood is so satanic. I mean, Olivia Wilde telling me I'm pathetic. You're pathetic. Your whole Instagram is dedicated to you trying to make people believe you're a good person. Oh, but another black...
I'm trying to resist the urge to comment on the fact that Candace Owens is trying to make fun of somebody for calling, because they called her pathetic, which she is. Let's not mince words here. She is. But you know what? I think the urge is past. Good for me. I'm proud of myself. Oh, wait a minute. Why is the video not... Okay. I appear to be having tech issues. 6:49. That's where I was anyway. Okay, so my laptop... Oh, I don't even know if I'm... I don't even know if I'm live anymore. My laptop was completely fucking froze. It is having tech issues. 6:40. Am I still live? I think I'm still live. I think it's still going. I don't even know if I'm... Yeah, no, it seems to be. It seems to be going. Yeah, no, this is... Oh, okay, so this is a little bit awkward. Yeah, it's completely... Oh, wished I have movement back. I have movement back. Yeah, live but frozen. That's exactly what's coming up here for me. And it doesn't want to go into... Okay, so yeah, no, it's having massive tech issues, and I cannot I cannot play the video anymore, which I know how upset we are all about that. But yeah, so okay, well, this is fucking unfortunate. This is very weird. This is very upsetting that I can't play the rest of it. But look, I mean, I was getting extremely tired anyway. The obvious kind of downside about this is that I can't end the broadcast because it's on StreamYard. And yeah. Although wait, maybe I can do it on my phone. I think I might be able to do it on my phone. I think so. Okay, so normally at the end of the last couple of videos, I have been saying if anybody disagrees or if anybody wants to kind of jump in and share their thoughts or something like that, that if they want to jump in and do all that sort of thing and get you sorted, all that, or like get your opinion out there and whatever. Yeah, probably not going to be able to do that this time because yeah, as I said, just haven't been yeah, haven't been able to kind of do anything. So okay, so that's saying that I'm in now. Can I maybe end? Okay, I think that this is going to end it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm really this was very kind of new and very unfortunate and very everything to me. So yeah, I think this is going to end it. End broadcast. Okay. So yeah, unfortunate that it froze and I'm still frozen and there's nothing that I can fucking do about it and this and that the other thing. So yeah, unfortunately it froze. Next podcast is going to be I know I'm very sorry about the abrupt end, but what can you do? Tech issues. The next podcast is going to be on Sunday. So it's going to be open kind of format. Everybody who is in the live chat right now, everybody who is going to be in the live chat on Sunday, you are more than welcome to jump in. We have a wide variety of topics to kind of go over, stuff to kind of talk about, this, not the other thing. And yeah, if again, I'm going to say it now. If you disagree with anything that I am saying, then just jump in, say that you that you don't agree, and you'll get your opinion out there. And there is something after happening. My laptop has just gone completely black, and so is my monitor, and now I'm a little bit scared. So before this actually completely freaks out and just stops working for me all totally, I will be gone. I am going to head off, and I will talk to you guys on Sunday.